it was in an endangered condition because of NGOs activities. Now again, we are seeing these birds here and there. The number has increased. So how we are losing the diversity? Let us see. Many of the species we lost so far, and if the conditions are like this, we have to see them only in the museums. This is only the option. But no care from the man side, because many reasons. We'll discuss all those. And but still we are not following proper steps to protect these species, valuable species. But we are interested to see them in the museums, like these each and every species is valuable. Once it extinct, it's permanently gone. So these are the direct causes. What putting the species for extinction or losing. So habitat loss or fragmentation is one important aspect because of the construction activities, developmental activities, road construction or building constructions or many constructions, putting the habitat in fragmentation, so that once the habitat is fragmented, some species goes the other side and some species come this side, and between the road act as a barrier, and no copulation or no contact between these species, and that put them into threat, and slowly they will wind up. And climate changes, it has more effect on the species. Climate is very dynamic. Every minute there is a change in the climate, and nowadays we are seeing very worst conditions, extreme conditions. One side floods, and other side drought, and everywhere, not only a particular area, everywhere we are seeing. This last March, it was touched to 45 and 50 degrees centigrade. So it's extreme. Actually, these temperatures generally we see in May end, but beginning of March we have seen. So these extremes are all because of the human activities, unsustainable use or management. So development must be sustainable without causing any harm to the nature. The development should be, but nowadays no one is bothering, and even the policies, government policies are not in concern of the species, and the development, whatever taken by the governments or public or private sector, that's all unsustainable. That's leading to the species for extinction. And other thing is domestication of some species, putting other species for extinction. Introduction of exotic species, either intentionally or accidentally. While importing the wheat from the America to India, Parthenum hysterophorus plant have entered, and now it is acclimated to the all parts of the India. So the pollen is highly allergic, and also it shows the allopathic action, and it secretes some chemicals, and it controls the growth of our native vegetation, and it expands more and more. And interesting thing is here, if the conditions are good, it goes to up to the 6 feet height and comes to the flowering and release the seeds. And conditions are not favorable, this it grows to the small centimeters, and immediately it comes to the flowering and it releases seeds. So it can survive in any conditions and release the seeds and distribute to the different parts. So that's the capacity of that exotic species. And another species that Prosophis zuliflora, intentionally it was spread many parts of the India by the government those days to use this species as firewood, so that there won't be any pressure on forest. That was intention by the government, and spread it to the many parts. Now it is acclimatized and spreading more and more. and causing problems to our native vegetation. Trade in species, many species, valuable species, knowingly or unknowingly. Many of illiterate persons, they don't know the value of the species, and simply they go for hunting and putting them for trade. That also that also decreasing the species, natural hazards or events, and human-induced disasters, forest fires, Podu or jump cultivation. This jump cultivation still we can see in some tribal localities in Assam, or if we go to northeastern part, many of the northeastern areas still we can see. Even in Telangana, Khammam, Eduralapalli, such areas, people are practicing it. Of course, because of intervention of government and other NGOs, it has come down, but some activities are going on. These also destruct the forest and lose some vegetation or species. So merciless killing of animals. A few years back, some people entered into the Nehru Zoological Park, Hyderabad, and they entered into the enclosure, and they taken out the tiger out, and they killed the tiger there itself, and taken the skin out and went out. So that was very pathetic situation. Because of the value of the skin, people are killing the animals, particularly tiger and even elephants. So forest destruction and fire every year. Huge amount of forest is cutting off and losing resources. Forest fire recently, Amazon forest, how badly affected the environment. Took some months to control that forest fire. During the course of time, very valuable species caught in that fire and died. Okay, and as per some studies, they say that nearly 50 to 100 species gone for extinction because of that fire. And Hippo Dilemma, habitat loss, introduced species, pollution, population growth, overconsumption. So Hippo, these are important aspects, putting the species, animals or plants in dilemma. These are all, many are man-made, but no one is caring about them. So here, some species don't die off, but are altered during the evolution. Even human also, when it was as Neanderthal age to modern age, and you like to evolve as a robot. Some people are trying to take their brain and put their brain in a robot and want to get an internal life. So maybe in future it may be possible, and we will see only the robots with the human brain. That will happen. Okay. So other species vanished completely, like dinosaurs and other species gone off. And
sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
If you don't mind, please you stop the screen share, and then only you have to start. Some of the participant write on the screen.
Yeah, please don't scribble on the screen.
Don't mind.
Yeah, I'll stop. Yeah. Are you getting bored?
No, sir.
Yeah. Is it okay? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there are 5 mass extinctions took place in the history. So one is at the end of the Ordovician period, and next late Devonian, and Permian, and Triassic. And now 4 mass extinctions, and fifth mass extinction is getting ready. Maybe that's Anthropocene extinction, human extinction, because already I told you, each extinction leads to the devastating of the millions of the species gone off. And nature gives the time for one species and its luxurious growth, and it will withdraw. The time for evolution, or the time for formation, the time for withdrawal, we don't know. So here, God, many of us believe in God. G-O-D, G for generator, O for operator, D for destroyer. Who generates, who operates, and who destroy the things, we call him as or her as a God. What is same role can be seen by the nature. Nature here creates, generates, operates, and at the same time it destroys. One who believes in God also should believe in nature. One who respects God, one should also respect in nature. If you don't respect the nature, if you believe in God, the things not in a proper way. So because many people ignores the nature, and they never touch the natural things. That's a problem we are seeing today. Very abnormal things we are seeing today. So maybe the fifth mass extinction is ready for us. We have to wait for the fifth mass extinction. Already nature giving some warnings, like Spanish flu, 100 years back we have seen, and after 100 years we are seeing the next great pandemic. This is a COVID. These signs are coming out from the nature, but don't know whether we follow the signs of the nature or not. If you don't follow these signs, and same attitude we'll have, definitely nature take a great revenge. When dinosaurs were there in Jurassic period, nature has given a great chance to the dinosaurs, huge gigantic dinosaurs, and because of that huge gigantic body, while roaming, the pedestrian movements killed the many organisms. So later, nature withdrawn the dinosaurs by the some asteroids, some people say, and some people argue that starvation deaths, that extinction of the dinosaurs because of starvation, no availability of food, maybe. So now conditions are very worst. Definitely it will be the next extinction will be for human beings. So again, at least we should listen to the nature, and we should respect the nature, and try to give something to the nature. So we lose these species, important species, recently. Not bring them back. Of course, nothing is forever. No one is forever. At least the time we are spending here, we should contribute to something to the nature. What we are taking from the nature, in some form, we should give back to the nature. That will extend our lifespan on the earth. So indirect causes, what we have seen, those are direct causes, and these are the indirect causes: inequality and poverty, population pressure. Population is raising up, particularly in India. Density is more, so the pandemic is also spreading fast than other countries because of the density of population here. And national and public policies, some national policies and public policies also sometimes, because of course most of the policies, public policies, uh, uh, in concern of the human being, in perception of the human being, not in the concern of the other species. This is putting many species under threat. Ineffective governments. Many countries, some governments are not bothering about climate or not bothering about the nature. Just in the name of development, their policies are taking and moving ahead. That putting the species threat. Social attitude of the people. People are not bothering about the nature. Even you see last pandemic, last year when lockdown was there, people were in the house, and after 1 year, people are with the same attitude. No change in their attitude. They want to go for meetings. They want to gather at marriages, or they want to celebrate something. Same attitude. They're not changing their mindset. So that's worst hit of the pandemic, COVID hit for second wave in India because of this attitude. And microeconomic policies and structure. So these are all indirect causes, of course, have a great effect on the species loss. Human impact on nature, if you see, these three important things played a dramatical role. Man in nature, early hunter-gatherers, as a hunter, he hunted many animals and lost a very important species during the hunting process. Still, people are hunting. From early primates to the now modern age, people are still hunting and putting the species for threat. And shepherd and farmer, large desert, that's a Sahara or Thar desert. Once upon a time, there were the grasslands. Because of overgrazing and browsing activities of these sheep and goats, they turned to the deserts. And even now, some parts of the Anantapur area, some part of the Mahbub Nagar in Telangana, in future, they will turn to the deserts if the activities are like this. And industrialization, it's a worst scenario. Of course, for the development, it's a mandatory, compulsory. But once industrialization started, pollution, and that caused the very, very, very bad effects on the nature. And cultivated land across the globe is another scenario. For the growing population, we have to convert the land, more and more land for cultivation, and for that we have to cut the forest, and the species which are living in that forest, they have to move away. And finally, many of the forest land converted to the agricultural land. You can see in the map, very small area is under the forest, remaining all converted to the agriculture. And particularly human impact, if you see, increasing population, increasing use of finite resources, and increasing pollution. Population, for the needs of population, we are grabbing, we're exploiting more and more resources from the nature. And you go to the small village also, you can see real estate. Agricultural lands are turning to the real estate, and construction pressure. People are constructing houses, factories, and all these. So this construction pressure removing the many species from their habitats. So human beings are encroaching into the forest and destructing them. So animals, forest animals particularly, They are questioning us where to live. That's why we are seeing these animals in our areas. They're coming into the human settlements, villages, towns. They're coming. They're migrating. But we should give them a proper space to live. But we are cutting the trees means we are cutting the lives of the animals also. So they're requesting even Bengal tiger, very royal tiger, now begging the people, just leave us to live. That's a pathetic situation today. But no botheration. People, species, they're losing their niche, they're losing their habitats, and we are encouraging. And see, this monkey on roadside met an accident, and baby is trying to take milk, and one side it's bleeding. They too have families, they too have lives. You should have concern towards the each and every species. Don't think that only one species is important, other species not. Even ant also very important. Even mosquito is also very important. It has its own role to play. That's why nature has given us. Nature, any species it is giving to the earth, any species it is introducing in the form of evolution, it has some idea. It has already designed the species and it released the species into the world. And it also decides some roles to play. But we are not bothering and we are disturbing them. So there again, begging, please don't kill us. And what are the consequences? Once we lose the biodiversity, valuable biodiversity, these are the consequences. Loss of genetic resources. Already we lose many genetic resources, many plants gone for extinction, and animals gone for extinction. Their genetic resources we lost. Loss of species, population decline, and see, bird population have come down, insect population have come down. Wild animals, their population have come down. Plant species, particularly wild plants, their number have come down. So like this, there is a lot of decline in the population size of various species, except human species. Human species population is rising up. Degradation of ecosystems because of construction. We are using the sites for construction, and area is decreasing day by day. In future, we cannot see even agriculture land for the cultivation. Don't know how to get the food. Ecological imbalance, spread of diseases and pandemics. Already we are seeing, facing the present situation is very worst, and cost increase to the society. Everything. See, even we are buying water and oxygen. Future, every finite resources will become very cost, and only the people who have money, they only can afford, and other people they cannot. Just imagine what will happen. So biodiversity laws has causes and consequences, and they're all interlinked. They are interlinked. One side, if you disturb, it has impact on other side, and there is a connectivity. So loss of genetic diversity. See, FAO estimates that 75% of crop varieties have been lost during the last 100 years. Just imagine, 75% of crop varieties. Whatever the cultivated plants we are cultivating now, we lost their wild varieties. No wild varieties we are seeing. Only cultivated, the two hybrid varieties we are seeing now. all the wild domesticated crops, wild varieties we lost. So 1/3 of the 6,500 domestic livestock races are endangered. So the genetic erosion of crops and livestock threatens food security. So other side population is increasing. This side we are losing the valuable genetic resources. How to balance these? And that again putting the imbalance. And transgenic crops can cause the loss of traditional crops, wild relatives, and the centers of origin due to genetic contamination. So now we are seeing we are contaminated the air, we are contaminated the water, contaminated the many things. Now we have started the contamination of genes. So once the contamination of genes takes place, we don't know what will happen. Whether the species will tolerate with the gene, okay. Otherwise, again, some mutations takes place. That species may become harmful, and that will have very bad effect on the environment, particularly human beings. The pandemic, that COVID we are seeing every time while spreading. Every month or every time in course of spreading, it's altering, changing. So strains are coming out. Some strains they're losing its validity, but some strains the more virulent strains, and they are showing the bad effect on the health and aspects of the people. So 67% secure or apparently secure. This is the current classification of the species. 1% probably extinct, 7% critically imperiled, 8% imperiled, 16% vulnerable, 1% is the other. So 67% only they are secure, remaining all they are under threat. So if we leave, these are all will become extinct, and it shows the effect on these species, and again they will turn to this side. So rare animals we are seeing in the wild slowly their population is declining, particularly rainforest. Rainforests are the best areas for variation of animals, birds, insects, but with a decreasing population, and many species are putting for trade. This is another problem. And the diversity of species in the rainforest we are seeing now. Actually, this has to be seen. These species have the right to stay in the forest, but our species are roaming in the forest and destructing the forest because of this machinery. Most of the area can be destructed within a short span of time. Very type of machineries we are using for the resource generation, and losing the valuable resources, natural resources. And we have safe water because we have various methods to get the safe water. We dug bore wells, and we drag the water from the bore wells, or some other way, some means pipe water we use. But what about animals? No one is caring about animals, birds and all. All the open water resources, rivers, you see the Musi River, once upon a time it was drinking water for the Hyderabad, but now it is just polluted water. Like this, all the open resources, water resources, like ponds, rivers, even oceans also, we contaminated, polluted with many things, and that is left over for animals and birds. Because of for drinking this polluted water, they are losing their life. So habitat destruction because of construction. See, deforestation has destroyed 99% of the original temperate forest. 99% of the forests have turned to the this concrete forest, concrete jungle. And agriculture has replaced nearly all grasslands in North America. See, all grasslands were turned to the agricultural lands and other resources also. Dams, construction of dams, and other constructions, putting the habitat destruction. Once the habitat is destructed, the species which are adapted to that habitat, they have to move, no other way. They have to move to the other sites. Once they, while moving, and once they move to the other habitats, immediately they cannot adapt. Again, they want to get some adaptations. It has, they should get some time, but no time. Meantime, they are losing their lives. 1 minute. Yeah. So ecological imbalance, one side floods, other side we are seeing a drought. Worldwide it's happening. There are a number of examples. An outbreak of pandemics, different strains are coming out. We don't know, second wave we are facing. Yet to face another waves. Somebody is saying third, fourth, fifth also. Fifth wave is also ready. We don't know how to face. And these pandemics have distributed, spread to all parts of the globe. They are not confined to the particular locality. Can spread to the all parts of the globe and causing death to the human beings. Now other species are free.